Group of Albertans very concerned about the energy crisis, taking matters into their own hands, actually trying to organize a cross-country convoy of oil rigs to parade on Parliament Hill. For more on this, we're now joined by Glen Carritt. He's lead liaison and organizer of this yellow vest convoy to Ottawa. Thanks for joining us, Glen.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So I understand there's a GoFundMe page right now. You're trying to raise $100,000. So once you hit that mark, what is the plan here and the message that you want to bring to Ottawa?
Yeah, start to talk about the GoFundMe page. As we get bigger and we need more people and more trucks get involved, that number is going to increase, of course, because the fuel and expenses of this trip are going to be, they're going to be quite high. They're going to be probably into the millions of dollars, depending on how many trucks we get. But we're getting so much support up here. We're looking at 1,000 trucks minimum going across the country here.
All right, so the cost of it obviously will be very high to take a rig that far across the country. It strikes me, though, the very fact that you want to go to Ottawa to take a message to Ottawa means that you haven't given up hope that your message is going to fall on deaf ears. Otherwise, you wouldn't drive halfway across the country, I would think.
Yeah, exactly. We've had several rallies here in Alberta. Little town Nisku had over 2,200 trucks. Brooks, an 8,000 population town, had 400 trucks that rallied up in 4.5 days. We've got another one in near Edmonton that's going to have already 1,000 trucks registered. And our thought was, that we can go 24/7, 365 around Alberta, and we're just not getting recognized for what's happening to our oil industry. They've had some rallies in Saskatchewan and British Columbia as well, and we just thought, we got to get to Ottawa because they're not going to listen to us until we get there. We can do all we want out here, but we need our voices heard. So we started this, and I reached out to however many groups wanted to get involved and tried to work together to make this happen so we can get our voices heard.
Yeah, I see your point there. You rally in Alberta, and obviously you're preaching to the converted. Is it just as valuable if you can raise the funds and have this convoy to Ottawa, not only to make it to Ottawa with your message for politicians there and for the federal government, but as you move across the country, one would assume media coverage and maybe you change some hearts and minds on the road along the way?
Yeah, our problem here is we have a great product that gets hammered by environmentalists, time and time again because they can. We're a free country, which is obviously the way we want it. We're fantastic, but these protesters come in and talk about our oil sands and our oil industry, and they can't do it in any other country. But we have the highest environmental standards in the world. We have a very low carbon footprint. It's lower than anybody else in the world. We take care of our environment, our replanting of trees, etc. It's an extensive program. So we gotta change the image of our oil industry, and we got to get our product out to Tidewater. We have this third largest oil reserve in the world, and it doesn't get to Tidewater, and the rest of our country doesn't even use our own oil. We bring in 42, I believe, don't quote me on the number, but it's something like $42 million a day. You can research that, from foreign oil, from countries like Saudi Arabia that have terrible human rights. All these countries, and we take care of our people. We're a peaceful people, but I think what's happened is the industry is woken up. We're just tired of our product getting slammed.
Now, the amount of money you have to raise, because obviously this is a very expensive endeavor to stage a convoy of rigs all the way from Alberta out to Ottawa. If you fall short of that goal, is there a plan B around this?
Yeah, I really don't feel we're going to fall short. I've got we have AFD Petroleum up here as a petroleum hauler there. They've got on board 48,000 liters of fuel to start with. Like we've got tanker trucks that are going to follow the convoy, and they're going to help us out with that stuff. And we've got some pretty major players that are, they want to make sure this happens. We're not going to set up to fail. We're gonna make this work, and we hope the rest of the people see this and support it, and we'll get there. All and right. You know what? At the end of the day, the trucks that are sitting, we've had so many people that have come to us and said, you know what, I'll just drive myself. So if the funds aren't there, we're coming. There's no turning back.
All right, Glenn, thanks for joining us. We'll be watching your story with great interest.
Thank you very much. Keep in touch.
That was Glen Carritt. He's Yellow Vest organizer and council member of Innisfail.